One of the more difficult films to run on our gauge profiler stand would be thin films. In this case, I'm demonstrating how to run 25 micron clear film. It's actually 5 sections from a cross web that are taped together. One location here, the film sample is fed through the device. Second tape section here, continue to feed through here. Third tape section here, following back down to the lower pulley, back up again. Fourth tape section here. Back at the beginning is the fifth one. I've set up the software so that we can run, so that the film sample will, it is calibrated and the film sample will run until it hits the first piece of tape. Then it will stop. I'll pull the film so that the tape is no longer under the capacitive sensor, run the second segment, and we'll do so through all 5 segments, and then I'll shoot a separate video explaining what we see in the graphic of the data. But first, I'm just going to mention that this particular sample was not very carefully taped together. It's important to cut the samples the same width, and when butting them up against one another and applying your tape to hold the pieces together, it's important that the tape extend to the very edges of the piece of film either side, so that you don't get any curling that occurs while it's being transported. I will do my best just to watch this film as it's being transported, because this one has not been prepared optimally for transport, to make sure that it doesn't wrap or fold over as it's running. The first section is feeding through. I've got it set at our higher of 2 speeds in our dual speed system. This is our CX-1225 film thickness gauge. There was the first piece of tape. We've had a little bit of film fold on the edge here. I'll just straighten that out. I'm going to move the sample to make sure that the tape is no longer underneath the capacitive sensor. I've got the program set up so that it automatically detects the tape at the end of each segment and then continues to run. The stand should be leveled better too to get better performance out of the film travel. There's the second piece of tape. The gauge stopped automatically. Readjusting to start just downstream of the tape. I've got a keyboard on top of the gauge. The computer is behind the instrument collecting the data. We've set our software up so you can just hit the space bar, start and stop the drive motor during a test, including its individual sections if you're running multiple, in this case 5 pieces. There's the next piece of tape. Motor automatically stopped. One thing we'll have to do for the next run and next video is the idler pulley is not perpendicular to the face of the stand, so we'll have to make an adjustment there and do a better job with our next video. I just started the drive motor again. Next piece of tape. And I believe this is the last segment coming up. I just started the drive motor. I'm sure after doing a better job of taping the ends of the samples together and adjusting the rollers on the stand, we'll be able to do a good job with much less attention being paid to how the sample travels through the gauge. There was the last piece of tape. The machine has stopped. The data is on the screen. I'm going to stop the video and start it again to show you the data.